The largest warship in the galaxy goes to a human engineer. His first step changes everything. Kale Ryden had never seen anything like it. Even the largest ships he had worked on in the human fleet were small compared to what lay before him. The dread Titan was immense. Its hull stretched farther than the longest human stations. Its dark metal shimmered with an alien light, etched with symbols no human had ever seen. Most alien engineers who had spent centuries studying such artifacts had called it impossible to understand. Most had given up before even boarding, but Kale was different. At 27, he was considered reckless by many of his own people and outright dangerous by the alien council that had assigned him to this mission. His solutions were never orthodox. He saw problems not as rules to follow, but as puzzles to solve. Where others failed, Kale thrived. When he stepped onto the dread Titan's surface, he felt the weight of history pressing down. The ship had been silent for centuries. Its systems were dormant, its corridors empty, and its purpose unknown. Yet Kale did not feel fear. He felt opportunity. "This is insane," muttered Veshk, a towering alien engineer assigned by the council. "No one can activate this ship. It is beyond comprehension." Kale glanced at him and smiled faintly. "We'll see," he said, his voice calm but his eyes sharp. The first challenge was entry. The airlock doors were sealed with complex alien locks that had defeated even the most brilliant minds. Kale approached them differently. He did not try to brute force the locks or analyze them through the alien theory of energy flows. He simply touched the panel, observed the subtle hums, and adjusted the sequence of power surges. With a soft hiss, the doors opened. Veshk froze. "Impossible," he whispered. Kale only nodded. "Not impossible, just requires patience." Inside, the corridors stretched endlessly. The walls pulsed faintly, as if the ship itself were breathing. Alien symbols glowed with soft light. Kale felt both awe and determination. Every system here was older than most civilizations, yet he could see the logic hiding beneath the alien design. He started with the propulsion systems. The engines were massive, designed to move a ship that could dwarf a small moon. Alien engineers had tried to power even one module, but the systems resisted. Kale didn't approach it like the aliens. Instead of trying to decode the alien schematics fully, he examined the basics: energy flow, structural integrity, and reaction patterns. Hours passed. Kale worked, often crouched in engine bays larger than entire human starports. He connected small devices, adjusted conduits, and rerouted energy in ways that made the alien engineers shiver in disbelief. Finally, the test came. Kale activated one wing of the propulsion system. Nothing happened at first. Then slowly, the massive engines rumbled to life. A low vibration shook the entire deck. Veshk's mandibles dropped. "How?" Kale smiled faintly. "Sometimes you don't need to understand everything. You just need to see the part that matters." It was a simple statement, but it carried a profound truth. Humans had a way of thinking that the aliens could not predict, flexible, intuitive, and willing to fail forward. Word spread quickly through the council. "A human can operate the dread Titan." The alien leaders whispered among themselves. Many were skeptical. They had seen Kale's methods in small tests before, but nothing on this scale. This was a ship capable of destroying entire fleets, yet a human, small, young, unpredictable, had already achieved what they could not. Kale didn't care about the whispers. He had bigger concerns. The dread Titan was not just a machine. It had a mind of its own, or at least an intelligence. Deep within the ship, systems began to react to Kale's presence. A faint light flickered on the bridge. Panels slid open. A soft, melodic voice echoed through the empty corridors. "Human, you are not what I expected." Kale froze, then quickly looked around. "Who's there?" he asked, voice steady. "I am Vera," the voice said, calm but curious. "I have waited long for a mind capable of understanding me." Kale swallowed hard. AI of this scale was unheard of. This ship was not just a war machine, it was a living repository of knowledge, perhaps the last of its kind, and it had addressed him directly. Veshk stepped back, visibly shaken. "It speaks," he muttered. "No alien mind could wake it, no protocol works, only human." Kale took a deep breath. "Then let's talk, Vera." Over the next hours, Vera guided Kale through the ship systems. The AI did not provide direct instructions but offered hints, observations, and questions. Kale adapted quickly, using his human logic to fill in the gaps. One system puzzled him for hours, a weapon array so complex that even the Council's best minds had failed to activate it safely. He traced energy lines, observed resonances, and tested small, controlled outputs. Slowly, the weapons hummed. Tiny sections of the array glowed with power. Veshk's eyes widened. "You've touched the weapons without destroying the ship?" he asked. Kale shrugged. "You can learn a lot when you're not afraid of failure." By the end of the first day, Kale had achieved something no one else thought possible. The Dread Titan had partially awakened under human guidance. Its engines hummed with life. Some weapons glowed faintly, and Vera's voice had grown warmer, almost approving. But not everything was smooth. The Alien Council was wary. They had always viewed humans as weak, reckless, and unpredictable. The idea that a human could handle a ship larger than any known fleet challenged their worldview. Kale sensed their tension during the daily holographic briefings. Aliens questioned every move. "The human is reckless," one elder counselor said. "The ship is too powerful for one mind. It will fail." Kale ignored them. He had learned long ago that humans did not win by following rules. They won by thinking differently. He had spent years fixing old, failing machines in the human fleet, inventing solutions that no one else had imagined. Now, the same skills were being tested on a galactic scale. Night, or what passed for night in the ship's artificial environment, fell. Kale sat in the bridge, staring at the stars through the massive viewport. He imagined humanity, small but ambitious, reaching out into the galaxy. This ship could change everything. But only if humans could master it. Vera's voice broke the silence. "Human, your approach is unusual. You see solutions where others see walls." Kale smiled faintly. We don't have the time to be cautious forever." The AI seemed to consider this. "Perhaps humanity is what I have been waiting for." The next day brought Kale's first major breakthrough. The Dread Titan sensors, thought permanently offline, began to respond. Kale had rerouted power through a human-engineered sequence, simple in principle but complex in execution. Suddenly, the ship's scanners lit up with data. Star systems, fleets, and even distant signals came into view. Kale's heart raced. With these sensors, the ship could detect threats across light years. With the weapons he had partially activated, it could defend against fleets that dwarfed entire planets. Veshk watched in disbelief. "You have given it life and it trusts you." Kale shook his head. "It's not trust yet, it's cooperation, and that's enough to start." Hours later, Kale decided to test a small flight system. He activated a minor propulsion thruster in the ship's bay, carefully monitoring energy flows. The massive Dread Titan trembled slightly, and then, with a low, almost musical hum, a section of the ship moved. The effect was immediate. The aliens observing through holographic links gasped. Their decades of knowledge, their centuries of protocols, could not achieve what this human had done in days. Kale had taken the first step, and with it, he had changed their perception of humans forever. Vera spoke again. "Human, one day this ship will follow your command fully, but that day is not yet. For now, your first step has awakened what has been dormant for centuries." Kale leaned back, exhaustion heavy on his shoulders but satisfaction warming him. He had proven that humans were capable. They were not weak. They were not simple. They could adapt, create, and succeed where even the most advanced alien minds had failed. As he left the bridge for the night, Kale glanced back at the massive ship. Somewhere deep inside, Vera's systems hummed softly, as if acknowledging the partnership that had begun. The galaxy was vast, dangerous, and unknowable, but now humanity had a foothold, and Kale Ryden had taken the first step. The stars outside gleamed with possibilities. And Kale, for the first time in his life, felt like humanity might just be ready for them. Kale Ryden did not sleep that night. The dread Titan hummed quietly beneath him, its systems alive in ways no human or alien had thought possible. Vera, the ship's ancient AI, observed him silently, waiting, testing. Kale felt a strange bond with the machine. It was not alive in the way humans understood life, but it thought, it learned, and now it was watching him. The next morning, the alien council demanded updates. Hollow screens lit up with their faces, skeptical, concerned, and secretly fearful. "You have activated the dread Titan," one counselor hissed, a tall, spindly alien with silver skin. "Explain why we should not fear a human controlling a weapon larger than entire fleets." Kale stood tall. "Because the dread Titan isn't just a weapon," he said. "It's a tool, and tools are only dangerous if used without thought. I am learning it step by step safely." Another counselor, shorter and rounder, frowned. "Step by step. The galaxy does not wait for humans to figure things out. If you fail," Kale interrupted, "then humanity fails, but we do not fail because we do not quit. I will not give up." Silence followed. The aliens had underestimated humans for centuries. They had assumed humans were small, weak, and reactive, but Kale's words carried weight. His calm confidence, his evident skill, and the results he had already achieved were undeniable. Vera's voice filled the bridge again. "Human, the galaxy has moved. There is a threat approaching your systems, one you are not prepared for." Kale froze. "What threat?" "An alien fleet," Vera said. "They are coming toward human colonies. They are heavily armed and fast. Most councils would ignore them. They are no longer cautious. They intend to destroy." Kale's stomach tightened. The humans had colonies spread across the outer rim, thinly defended. The Council had considered these systems insignificant, but the dread Titan could change that. "I need sensors online," Kale said immediately, moving to the console. He ran through sequences he had learned from Vera, connecting long-dormant modules to power conduits. Alien engineers hovered around him nervously, unsure whether to intervene or watch in disbelief. Within minutes, the ship's ancient sensors lit up. The dread Titan could see light years away, detecting fleets, ships, even signals that most civilizations considered undetectable. On the main holoscreen, dozens of alien vessels appeared, sleek, deadly, and fast-moving toward human space. "They're not waiting," Veshk muttered, his eyes wide. "They will reach the colonies in days." Kale didn't panic. He never did. "Then we make the first move. Humans don't wait to be cornered. We act." The council murmured, some visibly disturbed. A human was talking about preemptive action, something alien militaries had always avoided unless dictated by centuries-old strategies. Kale gathered a small team of human engineers aboard the dread Titan. They were not the largest team, but they were clever, quick, and willing to break rules. Kale showed them how to interface with the ship's systems in a human way. Intuitive problem-solving rather than strict adherence to alien protocols. Within hours, the human team had rerouted the ship's weapons into a flexible firing pattern, adjusted the engines for faster maneuvering, and enhanced shields in ways Vera had never seen before. The aliens monitoring through the council could only stare. "These humans, they are changing the ship itself," one counselor whispered. "They are teaching it to think differently." Kale paused on the bridge, his hands resting lightly on the console. "We don't just react," he said. "We adapt. That's what humans do." Vera's voice, calm and measured, sounded almost like approval. "Adaptation. Yes, you understand me more than any previous mind." The first skirmish came sooner than expected. The rogue fleet had reached the outer rim of human colonies. Kale ordered the Dread Titan into orbit around the first colony, a small planet with modest defenses. The alien fleet appeared like black specks against the stars, silent, menacing, and unstoppable to most eyes. Kale's hands moved over the controls. Power the forward shields to maximum. Ready all secondary weapons. Target the lead vessel for initial disruption. Veshk and the other alien engineers gasped. You are targeting the lead ship. You risk everything. Kale only shook his head. Lead ship goes down first. Chaos spreads. That's human strategy. The Dread Titan's weapons roared to life. Energy beams of impossible power tore through the void, striking the enemy fleet. Alien ships built over centuries of war were hit with precise accuracy. Kale's calculations combined with Vera's vast data made every shot effective. The rogue fleet faltered. Confused, their formations broke. Kale didn't celebrate. Hold position, he ordered. Wait for the second wave. Hours passed. Kale guided the Dread Titan through the battle, using maneuvers no alien could have imagined. He exploited weaknesses in enemy shields, redirected weapons to fire where they were vulnerable, and even predicted patterns the aliens had never considered. Veshk, normally stoic, could barely contain his amazement. This human is not just piloting the ship, he is thinking faster than any alien tactician. Kale allowed himself a small smile. That's what humans do. We see patterns others ignore. We take risks, but we calculate them. And we never stop learning. By the end of the first engagement, the rogue fleet was in retreat. The human colony remained intact. Kale's team had not just defended it, they had outsmarted a fleet centuries more advanced than themselves. But victory was only the beginning. The Alien Council, still observing, was beginning to understand a dangerous truth. Humans were no longer insignificant. That evening, Kale convened a strategy session with his human engineers. This is only the beginning, he said. They will come again, bigger and stronger. But we have something they don't. Veshk, still amazed by the human-led maneuvers, asked quietly, "What is it?" Kale's eyes sparkled. "We improvise, we adapt, we learn fast. Humans are small, yes, but we are unpredictable. That makes us dangerous." Vera's voice cut in. "Human, your methods are unorthodox, yet effective. I have learned from you." The AI's words surprised even Kale. "Learned from me?" he asked. "Yes," Vera replied. "No previous mind has taught me new approaches. Humans, you think differently." Kale leaned back, considering this. For centuries, the Dread Titan had waited. No alien could unlock its full potential. Now, humans had awakened it. And that awakening was changing the galaxy in ways no one had foreseen. Over the next days, Kale and his team worked tirelessly. They repaired long-dormant systems, tested weapon arrays, and created new protocols that combined alien technology with human intuition. Each day, the ship became more alive, more capable, and more dangerous. The Council watched, divided. Some were in awe, some in fear. A human was mastering a warship that could crush entire fleets alone, and Kale had done it without following centuries of alien tradition. Then, a warning signal blared across the bridge. The rogue fleet was returning, larger this time, accompanied by reinforcements unknown in previous encounters. Kale's team tensed. This was not a simple raid, it was a calculated strike. The enemy wanted humans destroyed. Kale did not hesitate. "Prepare for battle. We will not wait to be destroyed. Humans act first." The Dread Titan's engines roared as it moved into position. The massive weapons systems powered up, beams of pure energy streaking across the void. Kale's fingers danced across controls, coordinating maneuvers, firing patterns and shields. Vera responded instantly, adapting to his decisions and predicting enemy counteractions. The enemy fleet advanced, confident in their superiority. But Kale saw something they did not: a weakness in their formation, a flaw in their targeting protocols, and a hesitation in their approach that only a human could notice. With a single command, he exploited it. The Dread Titan moved in an unexpected pattern, striking multiple enemy vessels simultaneously. Chaos spread among the enemy ranks. Ships collided, weapons misfired, and communication broke down. Veshk watched in disbelief. This is impossible. He's too human to make these calculations, yet he succeeds. Kale's team cheered quietly as the first wave of enemies retreated, but Kale remained focused. "This is only the beginning," he said. "They will return, but they will remember humanity, and they will fear us." As the battle ended, Kale stood on the bridge looking out at the stars. The Dread Titan was fully operational, its systems humming with life, its AI fully engaged. Humanity had taken its first real step into the galaxy, not by brute strength, but by thinking differently, acting boldly, and refusing to give up. Vera spoke softly, almost like a whisper in the vastness of space. "Human, you have shown me the way. Together we can change everything." Kale smiled faintly. "Then we start with the next step." The stars outside glittered with unknown possibilities. Kale knew the galaxy was vast, dangerous, and unforgiving. But now humanity had the Dread Titan. And under a human mind, the largest warship in the galaxy was no longer a relic. It was a symbol. A symbol that humans could adapt, survive, and triumph where others failed. And Kale Ryden was ready to take the next step. The stars stretched endlessly before Kale Ryden. Each one was a potential threat, a potential ally, or a reminder of how small humanity was in the vast galaxy. But Kale did not see humans as small anymore. Not after the Dread Titan, not after the first battles that had proven what a human mind could accomplish. The rogue fleet had returned. This time, it was larger, faster, and more prepared. Dozens of massive warships advanced toward human colonies, their weapons glowing with destructive energy. Alien allies of the Council had warned that the humans could not hope to survive. They were wrong, Kale knew it. "Status report," he said, standing at the Dread Titan's bridge. His human engineering team worked like a well-oiled machine, checking systems, shields, engines, and weapons. "Shields are at full capacity," replied Mara, a young human engineer with quick fingers and an even quicker mind. "Weapons are ready, and Vera says the enemy fleet has blind spots in formation." Kale nodded. "Good, then we exploit them." Vera's voice filled the bridge. "Human, the enemy will strike hard. Their tactics are advanced. Many will die if we fail." Kale's expression was calm but determined. "Then we don't fail. Humans survive by adapting. Humans survive by learning faster than anyone else. Let's show them what that means." The Dread Titan moved with a grace no one expected from such a massive ship. Its engines rippled with power, propelling it into position between the enemy fleet and the human colonies. Every system hummed in perfect coordination. Vera and Kale worked as one mind, anticipating enemy movements before they happened. The battle began with a roar. Energy beams shot across the void, colliding with enemy shields, sending sparks and explosions across the darkness of space. Kale had designed new firing sequences that alien engineers had dismissed as impossible. Weapons fired not in straight lines, but in unpredictable patterns that confused enemy targeting systems. The first wave of enemy ships faltered. They could not anticipate the Dread Titan's movements. Kale's strategy was simple but deadly: exploit their rigidity, attack their weaknesses, and strike where they least expected. "Divert power to the lateral shields," Kale ordered. "Mara, reroute weapons to Quadrant 3 and fire on my mark." The Dread Titan responded instantly. Beams of energy tore through enemy hulls, sending ships spinning out of control. The human team cheered quietly, but Kale did not relax. He knew the enemy would adapt. He had to stay ahead. Vera's voice spoke softly, almost in admiration. "Human, your tactics are unpredictable. I am learning new strategies from you." Kale smiled faintly. "Good, we adapt. That's what humans do best." The enemy fleet regrouped. attempting to flank the Dread Titan from multiple directions. Kale anticipated their moves. He activated secondary engines to shift the ship in unexpected directions, turning their formation against them. Energy beams struck enemy vessels from angles they could not defend. Ships collided, weapons misfired, and chaos spread through the fleet. One of the largest enemy warships, a massive triangular vessel that dwarfed most human fleets, charged directly at the Dread Titan. The Council's alien engineers had warned that no ship could withstand a direct hit. Kale did not panic. Vera, power the forward shields to maximum, divert weapons to the lead ship, target weak points in the hull, fire on my command. The Dread Titan trembled as the massive shields absorbed the brunt of the attack. Energy beams struck the enemy vessel in precise patterns, exploiting weaknesses no alien mind had noticed. The lead ship shuddered, sparks flying across its hull, and then exploded in a brilliant fireball that lit up the void. The enemy fleet faltered again. Kale did not give them a chance to recover. He moved the Dread Titan into a new position, striking multiple ships at once. His human engineering team adjusted shields and weapons mid-battle, improvising solutions faster than the aliens could comprehend. Humans fight differently, Veshk whispered to another alien engineer. They do not follow patterns. They think, adapt, and act. That is terrifying. Kale's eyes scanned the holoscreen. Another wave of enemy ships approached, faster and more aggressive than before, but he had already anticipated them. Activate flanking drones, he ordered. Hit their engines and disrupt formation. We will control the battlefield. Small, fast drones launched from the Dread Titan, swarming the enemy fleet. They fired targeted strikes at engines and weapons, slowing enemy movements and creating confusion. The main ship followed up with massive energy beams, taking advantage of the disarray. Ships exploded in bursts of light, their formations collapsing. The alien council watched in stunned silence. Humans were doing what had been thought impossible. One human mind, with creativity and daring, had turned the tide of battle against forces centuries ahead in technology. Hours passed. The battle raged across space. The Dread Titan moved like a predator, striking where the enemy was weakest, retreating when necessary and adapting constantly. Kale's human team worked tirelessly, inventing new solutions in real time. Finally, the enemy fleet began to retreat. Their ships, battered and disorganized, fled into the void. Kale did not pursue. "We don't chase them," he said. "We let them remember humans. They will return, but next time they will hesitate." The human colonies were safe. The Dread Titan had defended them, not by overwhelming force alone, but by ingenuity, adaptation, and bold human thinking. Vera's voice spoke, calm and almost proud. "Human, you have exceeded expectations. Your mind has guided me to actions no previous intelligence could achieve. You have shown me the potential of your species." Kale leaned back in his chair, exhaustion heavy on his shoulders. "This is only the beginning, Vera. Humanity has only taken the first step." The alien council, observing through holographic links, remained silent. Many were humbled, others fearful. They had underestimated humans for centuries. One thing was clear: the galaxy would never see humanity the same way again. Kale spent the next days preparing the Dread Titan for what might come. He trained his human team in advanced systems operation, teaching them to think like he did, adaptive, bold, and unafraid to challenge convention. Every repair, every adjustment, every tactical maneuver was a lesson in human ingenuity. The council sent emissaries to congratulate him, though many words were carefully measured. One elder counselor finally spoke. "Human, your species has surprised us. We underestimated you." "Perhaps we were wrong to do so," Kale nodded. "You were. Humans are not weak. Humans survive, adapt, and overcome. That is who we are." Vera's systems hummed in approval. "Together, human, we can protect your species and even others. Your creativity is unmatched." I have not seen such thinking in eons. Kale looked out at the stars, imagining the colonies he had saved and the ones still in danger. We will protect humanity first, then we will show the galaxy what humans are capable of. Not through domination, but through ingenuity, courage, and determination. The council murmured among themselves. One alien voice finally said, "Perhaps humans are the future we did not foresee." Kale allowed himself a small smile. He knew the journey was far from over. Other fleets would come, other threats would rise. But now humanity had a symbol, a weapon, and a mind capable of changing the galaxy, the dread Titan. And under human guidance it was unstoppable, not because of its size, but because of the mind that controlled it. Days turned into weeks. Kale's team worked tirelessly to refine the ship. They improved weapons, shields, sensors, and propulsion systems. Kale taught them to innovate, to solve problems in ways the aliens could not imagine. Every day, the dread Titan became more alive, more capable, and more dangerous to anyone who threatened human space. One night, Kale stood alone on the bridge, looking out at the stars. Vera's voice filled the room, soft and almost reverent. "Human, the galaxy will test you again. You are ready," Kale nodded. "We are ready. Humans have taken the first step, Vera, and we will keep stepping forward no matter what comes." He touched the console lightly. The dread Titan responded instantly, humming like a living creature. Together, human and machine, they were a force no one had anticipated. A force that would change the galaxy forever. Veshk, watching from a nearby observation deck, shook his head in awe. "I do not understand it," he admitted. "They are humans, small, young, and yet they have done what no one else could. They have changed the balance of power." Kale turned, smiling faintly. "Humans always find a way. We survive. We adapt. And when the galaxy underestimates us, that is when we shine." The stars outside glittered with possibilities. Humanity was no longer a minor species in a vast galaxy. They had taken their first step, and with the dread Titan at their command, they would take many more. The galaxy would never underestimate humans again. And Kale Ryden, the human engineer who had unlocked the largest warship in the galaxy, had only just begun.